Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be testing out these colored pencils here that I actually got from my local Kmart here in Australia. I really love doing cheap art supply challenges, and sometimes you can find hidden gems, and maybe this shall be one of them, who knows. But anyways, let's try these out. So I have these three packs here. I got a skin color pack, a metallic pencil pack, and also a pastel color pack. And these skin color pencils actually quite intrigue me because, as you can see on the cover, there are tones that you can use for many different skin tones, and I just really like that, and I find that quite inclusive and cool. And as you can see here, we do have a big range of colors. There are a lot of like oranges and pinks, as well as some cool tones like purples and stuff that you would use in like the undertones of skin colors. And then we have some really nice dark tones as well, which I am quite excited about trying out. But anyways, we also have other pencils here. This isn't just the video. And we have this little pack here of metallic pencils, and these actually intrigued me because I have used a few metallic pencils in the past, but I don't actually own a kit of them. And I think that would be quite interesting to try out. And as you can see by me opening it at an angle, I kind of got these a little bit askew. Let's fix them up, but here they are, and these are actually quite interesting. As you can see, the barrel is actually a triangle shape, which I think should be quite interesting. It might be good for grip, who knows. But anyways, they do look quite interesting, and let's hope that they are quite pretty and glittery like some metallic art supplies are. Now the next one we have is these pastel pencils. Now I don't think these are actually like soft pastel pencils. I think it means like a pastel color palette pencils, and I was actually correct. As you can see here, we have some really nice bright pastel colors, which I just think look so pretty together. And the make of these pencils do feel quite nice too. And yeah, so that is the three pencils here, and these were all pencils that I got from Kmart for quite an affordable price, and not sponsored or anything. Although Kmart, if you want to sponsor me, please, because that would honestly be awesome. But anyways, before we dive into an artwork, I actually want to swatch these out. I love swatching out new art supplies, and I'm just getting a feel for how they look on the page, as well as how they work, because, you know, sometimes you might not expect a color to be what it is, and that would kind of be risky if you're, you know, going into an artwork without knowing what the colors look like. But anyways, we have the pastel pencils. They do look really nice and bright and light. The metallic pencils, they're a bit less pigmented than I hoped, and honestly they're not very saturated in color. But the skin color pencils are very bright. They are quite a bit more pigmented than the other ones. They're no Prismacolors, of course, but they do feel pretty nice. And I decided to test these out as well on a little bit of black paper, and that was a little bit disappointing. As you can see, you can't really see the colors that much, especially the metallic pencils. On the cover, you can see that they're like drawn on black paper, but if you actually try to draw on black paper with them, it's not very bright, and that was a little bit disappointing. But nevertheless, we're gonna keep going. And yeah, here are the rest of the colors on the black paper, and honestly, not too bad. But I think for this artwork, I'm probably gonna work on some white paper, just because I think I'll get a better result that way. Here I'm doing just a little test blend with those skin color pencils to see what sort of skin tones I can get, and honestly, not too bad at all. They do feel like they blend a little bit, nothing crazy like Prismacolors, but you can probably get a nice sort of range of skin tones with them, so I think that's pretty cool. But honestly, today I don't really feel like drawing a portrait of a person. Maybe I can do that in another video, but today I just want to draw something that I would normally draw. And lately I haven't been drawing too many portraits of people, just because I like to try different things, and something that isn't too different to what I actually draw. As you can see here, we are going to be drawing a dragon. I know, very original for me. But anyways, this dragon that I'm actually drawing is a repeat of a dragon in a recent video that I did with my sketchbook. And I wanted to draw this dragon again because I just really liked his design, and I really liked the little story that I came up with him as well. I felt like he was a scary, aggressive looking dragon, and he was quite aggressive. But if you ended up getting his trust, which is not easy, he will be a fierce protector. And honestly, I kind of love that because to me, since growing up, because I've always been obsessed with dragons, I really feel like they are kind of like protectors in a way. And that's why I just wanted to draw a dragon, a fierce, spooky, scary looking dragon. And a little girl, and he is obviously protecting her. And yeah, you don't want to mess with this little kid. And as you can see with her pose, she's just standing there kind of confidently with her arm just leaning against this massive dragon. Kind of badass, honestly. I love it. But yeah, let's dive into coloring in this little beauty. Now going into this, I didn't realize that the colors that I actually got in these 3 kits, I didn't really have like a proper red. And I'm kind of like regretting that now because this dragon that I chose obviously has a deep reddish color on the scales on its underbelly here, and the only red I actually had was from the metallic kit. Now that would have worked out really well if the metallic pencils were actually any good, and honestly I'm not a fan of the metallic pencils. I just feel like they're not pigmented enough, and you can't really see the metallicness too much unless you really cake it on, and so that was a little bit disappointing. But nevertheless, we are moving on. And for a lot of the dragon, I actually used a lot of the skin tone colors, and the skin tone pencils from Kmart, these are actually not too bad for an affordable kit. The colors, as you can see with the orange and yellow on its wings, are quite pigmented and rich. And the darkness of the darker tones as well are really nice, and you can get quite a bit of nice contrast as well, as you can see on the wings here, and I think he looks pretty badass. Not only that, but the make of these pencils, the little wood barrels, do feel better quality than the other ones, especially the metallic pencils. I don't know, they just feel a little bit more sturdier. The wood feels a little bit better quality, and yeah, I don't hate these ones. These are actually really nice. So for this dragon, as you can see here, in the original artwork I used with Copic markers, and I did this sort of speckly pattern that alluded to scales on its body, and I kind of had to recreate that with pencils. And the thing is, with pencils, it's a little bit harder to get that blended speckly texture. I had to individually draw in a lot of little circles all in different colors, and then I layered some brown over the top of that to sort of get it to blend a little bit while those little speckles were still sort of peeking through the layers of pencils. And I used quite a few different browns here, and I just sort of laid it in different parts of the dragon, and I tried to give it a little bit of depth as well, just to make it look a little bit 3D. And as you can see, it's not turning out too badly. The neck does look pretty cool, and I'm aiming at getting the body to look like that, as you can see here. And I ended up pushing the shadows quite a bit on this dragon because I really love the contrast on its wings and the darkness on its wings as well. So I wanted to get that on its body so it really looks like a fierce, scary dragon. And I ended up putting a bit of orange and yellow just because those colors look really good on this dragon, and ended up putting that on the highlights along its face and on its body a little bit. And now for the pastel pencils, I am going to be drawing this little girl's outfit here. I actually really like the contrast of the intense contrasty colors on this dragon versus the soft feminine pastel colors on this little girl's outfit. As you can see here, I think it works really well. These two do look different, but they also look like they are in harmony. I guess I could say they're working together, and there's a strong bond between these two, and honestly I liked that. Now of course I used the skin tone colors to color in this little girl's skin tone, and I actually based this little girl off me as a small kid, because back in the day I used to daydream about dragons constantly. I was kind of the dragon girl in primary school. Don't ask me about it, but anyways, I ended up basing that off me, and as a little girl my natural hair color is brown, so that's what I used for the hair, and I tried my best to sort of differentiate it. Is that a word? Differentiate? I think it is. The brown in her hair from the brown that's right behind her as the dragon. And I actually did this by blending out the colors on the dragon towards the hair, so that there was a slight highlight behind her, and then I drew in the hair in some crisp sort of like flicky motions so that it looks like it's blowing in the wind, and I made sure my pencils were very sharp so that the strands of hair were nice and crisp. And as you can see, you can tell the difference between the brown of her hair and the brown of the dragon, so you know, that's good. I think the little girl turned out really good, and I like her confident look on her face as well. You definitely don't want to mess with this little girl. She got a little badass dragon that'll mess you up. Well, it's not little, it's kind of massive, but you get what I mean. For the background, I decided to use mostly the grayish tones from the skin tone palette. And now I really like these grays because they actually have like hints of like blues and purples in them, which I just think look really nice because it's not like a pure gray. It does have a little bit of color in there, which will probably be convenient to you know, use when you're coloring in skin tones, but I know I like to work outside the box. But anyways, I decided on a smoky background just because I felt like it would suit the piece quite well. There is a lot of like full-on details and intense colors in this, so I kind of didn't want to detract from that too much, so I did a sort of soft blended smoky background, which would work really well for a dragon. And honestly, I think this artwork turned out pretty good. My only wish was that the metallic pencils were a bit darker and a bit more pigmented, because the red on its belly is just not as bright as the rest of the colors, and I think that it just would have looked better if it was. But I also don't think that that ruined the piece either, because the other bright elements and aspects of this definitely make up for that. So anyways, what's the verdict for these pencils? The skin tone kit I do like. I think for an affordable kit, it is quite cheap, but I think it works out well, and it's probably good for like young people or people who are, you know, maybe just interested and want to try out art without having to spend too much on art supplies. The metallic pencils are pretty meh. I probably wouldn't buy them. You probably get some better metallic pencils somewhere else. And the pastel pencils, they are quite soft and nice. The colors look quite vibrant as well, but while still being pastel. And I think I'd be interested in trying them again in another video as well. So anyways, here is the final results for this artwork, and honestly, I like it. I think it turned out really cool. Please let me know in the comments below what you think of this artwork and the little stories, like backstory behind it. I think it's pretty cute. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot, and leave a comment below. Hope you all are staying healthy and safe, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye everyone.